what's actually involved in running a tabletop exercise. We're going to break this down into 3 phases. We have the pre-game phase, we have the in-game phase, and we have the post-game phase. So really before the game begins is where most of the work is actually done. The first thing, of course, you've got to do is get buy-in. You've got to actually get people to understand why you're conducting a tabletop exercise and figure out what the benefits are going to be. You have to then decide what the format and structure is going to be using your understanding of tabletop exercises and the varieties of choices you have. What's going to be the best for the number of players, the available time, the physical environment that you've got. You have to then go ahead and identify the target audience, who are going to be the players, the stakeholders. You have to really think about who are the desired people you want to have at the table. You have to conduct a stakeholder analysis to identify and prioritize who you want to be there. Not only that, but also what their needs are going to be, who their identity has to be. You have to think about who is going to be at the table. By far, the hardest part of the pre-game thing is getting commitment from the stakeholders. You have to engage them early. You have to really deliver to them the understanding of the value and the relevance of the exercise. And you have to find a schedule that works. One of the hardest things about professionally doing this is getting busy people to sacrifice an hour or 2 of their time to sit at the table. That is really tricky. You have to provide that supportive environment, maintain engagement, and really be someone who's easy to work with. Then there's the logistical side of things. You have to organize a facility, schedule it, set it up, all of the equipment, the handouts that you might need, the communication with the participants, anything you need from meals or breaks or IT support, all of those extra little bits. It's a little bit harder than getting the snacks out for game night. It's just like that, but just a couple of extra points that you need. Next things from a professional standpoint, you really have to, before the game, identify risk management. So by that we mean identifying things that can go wrong and thinking about mitigation strategies. So have a think about what happens if my main stakeholder doesn't want to show up or cancels at the last minute. Have a think about what could ruin the game for you and what are you going to put in place to mitigate that from happening. Next, of course, you have to really run those play tests to refine it, get the feedback you need so it's really good. In the in-game phase, a couple of just general tips. We want to just land with a strong opening, using those handouts as much as we can, creating interesting decisions, using in-checks, and really setting the tone of the table. We want to make sure we've got player safety at the table by establishing those ground rules, addressing topics as sensitively and responsibly as possible, and offering that debrief if we need it, especially if we're doing scenarios that involve quite sensitive areas. We need to know how to facilitate well. So making sure that our players are briefed really well, running the scenario is clear in our minds what's going to happen, and ensuring that everyone has good engagement. Post-game, the most important thing post-game is the debriefing, otherwise known as the hot wash. We want to conduct a bit of a debriefing session pretty much immediately afterwards to capture those immediate impressions and develop the lessons learned and the takeaways that we're going to have. Also, we want to think about data analysis and evaluation. So this is one thing that comes professionally that we don't have in hobby tabletop games, is we really want to understand the effectiveness of the exercise. We want to know what we are measuring. What are the areas that we need to improve on afterwards? We want to uncover the things and the lessons learned that we've found to inform our future design and our future implementation, but also to address the stakeholders' needs, all going back to the initial aim of the exercise. And then lastly, we want to communicate those results. Now, this may be done by the stakeholder or whoever's sponsoring you to run the tabletop exercise, but a lot of the time this can fall on the GM, and we want to formulate a summary capturing the findings, the insights, the recommendations that come out of it, and provide a good comprehensive approach to what this did, what was the actual output, what was the impact that this exercise had. So overall, going back over that, we've got a bit of a pre-game phase. We're just getting ready, organising logistics and setting up things so we've got safety nets underneath us. The in-game phase, we want to make sure we've got player safety, facilitate well, and have a strong opening. And in the post-game phase, really provide that debrief, the evaluation and analysis, and communicate those results back. Thanks for watching. These lessons will be dropping weekly on YouTube, but if you want to get them all right now, you can take the foundation course for free on our website, where you will also get the lesson notes, summaries, assignments, checklists that guide you through all the learning objectives we've covered. At the end of that course, you'll also get a certificate of completion and an invite to our directory and community, where you can meet some other game masters and use the Long Game Project as a platform to showcase your work. If you want to take your game mastery further, completion of this course is a prerequisite to unlock the advanced professional course, along with the Game Master track, where we dive deeper into the content and further along the skill tree. You can also check out some of our other free tools in the description below, including our Tabletop exercise starter kit, our scenario generator, the trove of existing scenarios, our SOP checklist library, and our new RPG character sheet, CV, and LinkedIn template, which is really cool. I did mine this morning, and now all my network knows that my dump stat is probably Dex, and I'm definitely neutral good. Roll on!